Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you. From Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha our Mashiach, his voice. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our mighty one is one Yahuwah. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of Yahuwah. And we're starting today from Deuteronomy chapter 29. We just concluded an exhaustive study on Deuteronomy chapter 28. I wanted to make sure that you were aware of what you will get if you keep the commandments. I wanted you to be aware of what you would get if you violated the curses. And the curses were extensive, weren't they? We also learned something else, a very important fact. They hate you. They hate your Mashiach. Most of all, they hate your father. They took your father's name out of the book. They took your Mashiach's name out of the book. They took your names out of the book. They replaced your father's name with their father's names. They replaced your Mashiach's name with their Messiah's name. They replaced our names with their names. They stole our power. Let's begin. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 1 to 6. Verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which Yahuwah commanded Moses to make with the children of Yasharal in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. He only made the covenant with us. There is no spiritual Israel. If you believe in that mess, look for it in the scripture. You will not find it. Everyone wants to be privy to the promises that are in this covenant, but they haven't experienced the curses that comes along with the covenant. They don't want that. They have violated these laws, probably even worse than we have. Yet they continue to prosper, while we are experiencing the curses. Doesn't that tell you something? Whom he loveth, he also chastiseth. Who is he chastised for these last 400 years? And before that, many, many times before. Just like a parent chastises his child. The parent won't go to the neighbor's house to chastise their child. They only do it in their own household. Our Father did not go outside of his household for chastisement. Only the children of Yasharal experienced the curses. Verse 2. And Moses called unto all Yasharal, and said unto them, Ye have seen all that Yahuwah did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his lands. What they seen is going to be nothing compared to what we're going to see. Verse 3. The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles. Verse 4. Yet Yahuwah have not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. Now he's going to open their eyes to this. Verse 5. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxen old upon you, and thy shoe is not waxen old upon thy foot. That is a miracle. 40 years your clothes are not tattered and your shoes have no holes. Verse 6. Ye have not eaten bread, neither have you drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am Yahuwah, your mighty one. He fed them manna from heaven. They were not sickly for 40 years. They didn't have the taste of bread in their mouths because they were wandering. Verse 7. And when ye came unto this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out against us unto battle, and we smote them. Now Sihon the king of Heshbon, he had a powerful military. He was a great and powerful king. They made songs about him and his land. But guess what? We smote them because we had a mighty one who was with us. And Og, the king of Bashan. Og was a giant, brothers and sisters. He was pretty scary to the Israelites. They were afraid of the giants. Remember when Caleb and a few of the other scouts went out to scout out the land, and they said, we look like grasshoppers compared to these guys. They were afraid. But those who knew the power of their mighty one, they were not afraid of anyone. You are facing giants today. But look at this. I want you to see how big Og of Bashan was. Here's your scale. If you look down at the average man, 6 feet tall, that is the average height of a man today. The Israelites were all about that same size, 6 feet tall and under. We were not really a tall people. Now look at Og of Bashan, the Goliath scale they have there. Og of Bashan was 12 to 18 feet tall. Look at it. That's double the size of a man, almost, if you're 6 feet. Look at that, brothers and sisters. Let's just go with the lowest one, 12. Look at that. Now, the giants that you have in the early Canaanite giant scale, it told you in Amos chapter 2 and 9, you can see how big these guys was. No one believes this, you know. The Smithsonian Institute has made this into a lie. They're trying to say, oh no, this has never happened. But this has happened. They have the bones. They're covering this stuff up. You know why? Because their DNA is in these creatures. This is who they come from. They can't let the world know who they are. They have stolen someone else's identity, and they're posing also to be of the bloodline of Adam. Look at Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 11. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of the giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not in Rabbah of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, after the cubit of a man. He was huge. His bed was huge. And for all of those who try to say that it's still not happening today, look at this guy in China. Or look at the ones here in the Middle East. They have to be over, almost 7, 8 feet tall. What about this one? He's about 9 feet tall or so, 8 foot something. A photographer caught Wadlow in the lobby of the Murray Hotel in Livingston in the late 1930s. They called him the Gentle Giant. Look at that, brothers and sisters. This blood is still flowing. Andre the Giant, you watched him fight in the ring in WWE or WWF, whichever one he was down with. We saw it on television, but we've come so immune to it that we're not really paying attention anymore. This is normal stuff to us, right? Shaq, he is 7'1". That is huge, right? But look at this guy, Sim Buller. If Shaq is 7'1", Sim Buller must be 7'6" or 7'8". Look how he's leaning down a little bit so he can make sure he gets in the picture. Brothers and sisters, your book is not a lie. It's telling you the truth. These giants really existed. And there's a people, and you know who the people are, because they're in control. The only way you can cover up all of these things is if you're in control. Verse 8. And we took their land, and we gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites and the Gadites, and to the half tribe of Manasseh. Do you understand what this is telling you? No matter what giant you're facing, we're facing the biggest giants ever before in history. The European nations, they have powerful militaries. They have nuclear weapons. The Arab nations, they have powerful militaries, big money. Some of them have nukes. The Asian nations, China, Korea, Japan. We're facing giants today, brothers and sisters. But don't you fear, because Yahuwah is here. Verse 9. Only if you do this. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that you do. Everything is going to come back to this covenant. When I was in the church, they used to say, oh, you covered by the blood of Jesus. No, you are not. You're covered by this covenant. If you don't keep it, the hedge of protection has been removed from you, and you will die. Verse 10. Ye stand this day, all of you, before Yahuwah, your mighty one, your captains of your tribes, your elders and your officers, with all the men of Yasharal. Verse 11. Your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water. Look at the job description of the stranger. And look what it says about him. It says, thy stranger. He belongs to you. Anyone who is of the stranger who wants to come into the promised land with us, they have to join themselves to us under our banner, under our covenant. That's how it works. They don't have a separate covenant for them. They have to come under us. They have to join themselves to us. Do you know there's not going to be many of them, right? Because we're nothing but a bunch of niggers. How is it that they're going to come and join themselves to these niggers? But there shall be a few who shall come out of that stereotype. All they want to do is to be close to the children of Yasharal. You know, when I was in New York and we was in the projects, and we used to have some of the white guys who used to come and they used to join themselves. I know everyone must have seen it or knows some white dudes or some white girls. They just want to be close to us. They don't want anything to do with their own kind. They want to join themselves with us. We're not to mingle with them. But in their hearts, they feel that they are one of us. For something about us that draws them to us. That's what's going to happen with the stranger in these last days. He doesn't care whether people call him a nigger lover. He feels that he is just like us. The white dudes who I used to know, who used to come into the projects with us and hang out, they dress like us, they talk like us, and they love nothing but black women. They didn't want nothing to do with a white girl or even a Spanish girl. They wanted black women because they wanted to be accepted. They wanted to be down. It's the same thing that's going to happen in this gathering, brothers and sisters. Verse 12. That thou shouldst enter into covenant with Yahuwah thy mighty one, and into his oath, which Yahuwah thy mighty one maketh with thee this day. Verse 13. That he may establish thee today for a people unto himself. You are the only people he chose. That's why you're going through this chastisement, these curses. And that he may be unto thee a mighty one. He's not trying to be a mighty one for anyone else. You are his target group. As he have said unto thee, and as he has sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Verse 14. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath. Did he make it with any other people in the world? Is another group of people about to come in here under this covenant? Verse 15. But with him that standeth here with us this day, before Yahuwah our mighty one, and also with him that is not here with us this day. What is he talking about? A bloodline. He just told you in 13. The promise came to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Yasharal. He had 12 sons. The covenant passed to them. And they were supposed to keep these laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments, and their seed after them. That is you. Verse 16. For ye know how we dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. Verse 17. We're in the nations right now. We're coming through all of them. And ye have seen their abominations. Haven't we seen the abominations of the Americas and around the world? And their idols of wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Verse 18. Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from Yahuwah thy mighty one, to go and serve the gods of these nations, Jesus, Krishna, Jesus, Christ, Ali-Lot, Allah, Buddha, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. Brothers and sisters, that's going to be very bitter. Verse 19. And it shall come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace. Isn't that what they say in the church today? I'm too blessed to be stressed because I have Jesus on my side, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart to add drunkenness to thirst. What is he saying? This person is ignorant. They have ignored the commandments. They have ignored his ways. Verse 20. Yahuwah will not spare him. Get this in your head. There will be no mercy for worshiping these other gods. But then the anger of Yahuwah and his jealousy shall smoke. That means he's on fire because he's smoking against that man. And all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and Yahuwah shall blot out his name from under heaven. Praise Yahuwah that he has awoken some of us. The others, their names shall be blotted out from under heaven, because they will not return. Verse 21. And Yahuwah thy mighty one shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Yasharal, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law. What end shall it be for you when he comes to gather us and takes us back into the promised land? Are you going to be one who's going to be separated because of the evil of your imaginations of your mind, just like he did at Horeb, and destroy all of those who worship that golden image? Verse 22, so that the generation to come of your children that shall arise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see these plagues of that land, and the sicknesses which Yahuwah have laid upon it, what are they going to say? Verse 23, that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which Yahuwah overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. That's why your promised land is a desert today. It is not blessed. It is not fruitful. They're using all types of irrigation tactics to grow a few crops. And most of the things that they get is from trade. Verse 24, even all nations shall say, wherefore hath Yahuwah done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of his great anger? Verse 25, this is the answer. Then men shall say, because these Yisraelites have forsaken the covenant of Yahuwah, their mighty one, of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. You see how it's perpetual. We're talking about generations later when he made it a desert. Verse 26, for they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. Verse 27, and the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in the book. Do you see that? The land is cursed. That's why it's a desert. When he comes to gather us and brings us back into the land, it shall be like a garden of Eden. There shall be rivers flowing through the land once more. Verse 28. And Yahuwah, who did this? And Yahuwah rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. Where are you? Are you in your land? You don't even know where your land is. The Europeans told you you were Africans, so you says, oh, yes, okay, we're Africans. The Europeans told you, he says, hey, before you came here, you were Muslims. Okay, yeah, all right, we were Muslims. Then when you got here, he told you you was a Christian. You says, okay, you accepted whatever your conqueror said. This is why Yahuwah's anger was rooted out of us. Now, I want you to understand, the people did not have any knowledge. But remember what the book says. My people perish for lack of knowledge. It will not be an excuse in the last days when you stand before him because you did not know. If you say that, he's going to say, you did not seek me out. Verse 29. The secret things belong unto Yahuwah our mighty one. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. There's things that the Father hasn't revealed to us. They're a secret. But the things that are revealed are in the book. What is in the book? Keep his laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. Love Yahuwah, your mighty one, with all of your heart, with all of your mind, and with all of your soul. Now, as you've seen, we've been evicted. The land is a desert. Father, what must I do to be saved? Continue to Deuteronomy chapter 30, and we shall answer that question. Shalom.